Good afternoon and welcome to our TPEA Lunch and Learn Friday. It is Friday the 14th of October, and we appreciate you joining us today on your lunch hour. We're joined by a couple of representatives from TPEA, Hannah Schaefer and Charlotte Wilson. And so thank you very much for joining us. My name is John Green. Just a couple of housekeeping details before we get started here today. All participants are in a listen-only mode. And what that means is if you have questions or you have comments that you want to make, drop them into the Q&A or the chat feature. It will allow us to respond to you individually if it's something that is specific to your situation, or if it's a topic at hand, a question that the whole group would benefit from, we can stop and discuss that as well. You'll also notice this QR code down here on the right-hand corner. That QR code is your link, a way to get a hold of us and ask questions about particular things that we discussed today. And I'll share more with you about that as well. So just a quick reminder of those two things. And then we do record all of these sessions. We record them, we put them out on the TPEA website. That way you can refer to them at a later date. Or if you missed it, something like that, part of it, you can go out and review them again, usually about a week before it gets out there, but we'll take care of that as well. So again, my name is John Green. I'll introduce myself a little bit more here in just a moment, but let's get in real quickly and just kind of talk about what TPEA does for you. The Texas Public Employees Association has been around for over 75 years now, started even before ERS. They were the organization that helped get in pensions and benefits for state employees. And still to this day, they are defending and fighting for your ERS pension plan and your benefits that you've worked so hard for. They are constantly legislative advocacy roles that they have to make sure that there are certain bills, funding, things of that nature that put you in a position to make sure that your pension is strong, that there could be cost of living adjustments coming in the near future, things that workforce pay, job stability, and benefits for active state employees, as well as for retirees, things like that. And then just keeping you connected. Oftentimes we're in different roles across the state, and keeping you connected through one organization that does all of these things for you. That's the role of TPEA. I want to bring in my good friend here, Ray Amell. He is a legislative liaison for TPEA, and he's going to talk a little bit about what's going on up there at TPEA, because even though we are not in session right now, it doesn't mean that there's not a lot taking place. Is that correct, Ray?
John, that is so true. We have, your TPEA team has been testifying before numerous hearings before the LBB and Governor's Office joint budget hearings. Each agency presents their legislative appropriation request, which includes their exceptional items. And we've been touting those agencies that did request pay raises. We've also been speaking to the need for a broader state employee pay raise, since there's not been an across-the-board raise since September of 2014. And many of you are painfully aware of that. We've talked, of course, you know, the earlier in the spring, we testified before the Senate Finance Committee regarding the corrosive effects of inflation on the pocketbooks of state employees when it comes to gas and groceries, especially. You're really feeling the pain, I know. And we are trying also to visit as many key budget legislators involved with the state budget as we can, and their staffs, to present to them the need, the great need for an increase in the not only for employees, I might mention that we're also talking up the need for retirees who've not seen an increase for over 20 years. So we did testify to that effect, in fact, before the full House Appropriations Committee on September 8th. Now, state agency strategic and workforce plans have been submitted to the legislature. They are something you can link to from you see a link there. But you also know that the TPA website can make that information available to you, as well as the hearings that we've appeared at. All of that is available on the TPA website. Reminder, early voting starts October 24th and then ends on November 5th. The actual election day, for those of you that prefer to go to the polls, is November 8th. But a lot of people take advantage of early voting, and I urge you to do so because it's usually an easier process. less lines. Um, and I do not want to neglect to thank all of you for everything you do for the state of Texas. TPEA touts you. We talk about you. We in every way we can. So thank you for your service to this state. And you've gone through fires and floods and the freeze, and of course COVID. And you've stood through all that and continue to serve with great dedication. Thank you. Now, as the session approaches, we will be alerting folks who are on our list who have given us their cell phone numbers by text to act and contact your local legislator. That will be only if there's some key legislation affecting state employees and retirees that's imminent, as well as cases where you might have a budget decision about to be made. So we are pushing again for pay raise and for the all state retirees to receive an increase too. But in addition, we want to make sure the insurance is left intact, and it looks like it will be, but we really want to keep a close eye on your insurance because that's a very valuable benefit. You see on your screen how you can sign up for a text alert from TPEA. Text the word TPEA, all caps, TPEA, to the phone number 972-217-4067. 972-217-4067. And if you have any doubt that whether you're not given us that number already, given us your number already, please go ahead and text your cell phone, text TPEA, which will give us your cell phone number to that number, 972-217-4067. Thank you again, and I'll turn it back to John. And be aware that we're very active at the Capitol and trying also to contact folks in their local districts.
Great. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that. Again, sign up for these alerts. I know that there are many organizations, many groups of retirees, active employees, things like that, of all different stripes who will be at the Capitol hitting hard, trying to get their best interest taken care of and money funded their way towards their pensions, towards those type of things. Please, please, please sign up for these legislative advocate text alerts, 972-217-4067. Text TPEA to that phone number and find out exactly what you need to do when it's time to contact, because timing and numbers speak volumes with the legislators as they get back into session next year. But for right now, your TPEA group, Ann, Ray, Gina, Charlotte, Hannah, the whole staff is constantly testifying in front of different committees about the need for the cost of living adjustment. So Ray, thank you very much for what you're doing on behalf of Texas retirees as well as state employees. Again, my name is John Green. I work with Association Member Benefits Advisors, but I think I have documented that I was the youngest employee of the Texas Highway Department at 6 years old back in 1973. So you can do the math. I used to work with my grandfather, who worked for the Texas Highway Department, retired from state employment, and loved every minute of those summers. I would get to ride all of the big construction trucks for road construction, clearing snakes out from underneath bridges. It was the greatest experience growing up. I don't think OSHA would let me do that anymore. But I show you these pictures because I'm so proud of what my grandfather did being a state employee. He was proud to work for the Highway Department, raised 3 kids, put them through college. We're all benefits and beneficiaries of that state employment. So I want to thank him. But again, as Ray mentioned, thank you for what you do to take care of us in Texas. So appreciate that. Again, Association Member Benefits Advisors is the partner organization with TPEA to bring extra benefits to TPEA members that may not be covered by your state benefits, meaning that the state doesn't offer those benefits. And we've talked about those in the past. There are certain things they don't offer, but also for those of you who may leave state employment, go to work for the private sector, come back to state employment. These benefits are portable if you leave for whatever reason. But the biggest reasons, and part of our conversation on our topic at hand today, is that you can extend your benefits, meaning that if you're a member of TPEA, you can extend your TPEA eligible benefits to parents who never were eligible for your state benefits, or to family members who have maybe aged out of your benefits because they reached age 26 or older. And then for those of you who have parents that are still living and you're working for the state, or maybe you're retired working another job, if you have the proper coverage of benefits on your parents or even on yourself, it could prevent you from having to take extended time off to take care of your loved ones, or maybe your children to take those things off of time off of their work as well. So today we're going to talk about the dental and vision plans that are offered through TPEA. Again, we're going to talk real briefly about the state benefits, but we're going to talk about the benefits that you have through TPEA for members of TPEA. We're going to talk briefly about the ERS dental and vision offering with open enrollment period, talk about that, contrast that just a little bit to the TPEA endorsed dental and vision benefits and kind of show you why you may want to take advantage of the differences, take advantage of a double dip opportunity, and make the most of your options out there. So let's jump in today and talk about this. The state of Texas really offers very good benefits for their employees and for their retirees. And that's one of the perks that you get as a state employee, that you have some very good retirement benefits going in there. I highly encourage you during this open enrollment period to check out that ERS website. Check it out, whether you're in the open enrollment period or not, but check out the comparison charts for all of your benefits. The ERS website is a wealth of information. So much is out there for you. So, but when we talk about the dental benefits for you as a state employee or retiree or for your families, you have three different options. Some of these are true HMO networks with very, very tight coverage, very, very, not say limited, but a very hard, fast network to receive benefits. Some of them have plans that have out-of-network coverage. Some of them have PPO type coverage. So where you get your coverage can vary, and the price that you pay and the trade-off that you get for flexibility can vary as well, because some of the plans have no or very reduced coverage for an out-of-network dentist. And again, as you know, if you've been a state employee for any period of time, you've got very specific enrollment periods. And if you miss that enrollment period, short of some type of life change, a marriage or birth of a child or a death or something like that, you can't sign up midterm. So you don't have that ability with the state plans. And your eligibility is limited to you as an employee or a retiree, your spouse, and any dependent children under the age of 26. So that's what you have with your ERS plans. And again, having dental insurance and the offer for that for retirees and for employees is a very valuable piece out there. Through the TPEA and AMBA, Association Member Benefits Advisors, we have a separate plan that you can choose as well. It's through Emeritus, who is one of the largest provider of dental coverage across the nation. We use this with several hundred of our associations that we work with. It gives you freedom to go to whatever dentist you choose. You can enroll whenever you want. So if you missed a date, you missed coverage, something like that, or your child rolls off because they become an adult child and they're no longer eligible, well, if you're a TPEA member, that adult child or your parents are eligible. You can sign up whenever you want to. You are eligible the first month after you enroll. So if you enroll this month, then you're eligible starting November 1st. There's no long-term contract. We have a 2-year rate lock period in there, and we have a rewards program that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. So you've got a lot of flexibility here, because we know that your life changes. If you're an active employee and you leave state employment and your new place of employment does not offer dental benefits, through TPEA, you can have access to dental benefits. If you have a son or daughter that has been on your benefits and they turn 26, they're no longer eligible through the state, you can get it through TPEA. So again, lots of flexibility to enroll when you want to, who you want to, at any time of the year that you want to. So let's take a look at the benefits that you receive through the TPEA offering. Again, these are not the ERS benefits. These are through TPEA, Emeritus, and AMBA here. You have 3 different types of cleaning services out there. The first year that you enroll, there is a slight cap on your coverage, meaning that you get a 70%, 60 or 25, 50% reimbursements the first year. After the first year, you get 100% coverage with no deductible for type 1 routine cleanings, x-rays, things like that, up to 2 times a year. Type 2, your fillings, your repairs, your panoramic x-rays, things like that that aren't normally covered in a normal visit, is 80% after a $75 a year deductible in the first year. Type 3, your root canals, your crowns, oral surgery, things like that, has a 50% coverage after the first year, again, after that $75 calendar year deductible. Orthodontic services, you get a $1,000 lifetime maximum coverage for that. And you get a maximum benefit of $1,250 per calendar year. As you see, you've got a deductible of $75 per person per calendar year. That is waived for your type 1 deductible, or excuse me, your type 1 cleaning services, things like that, because we want you to use these benefits. We want you to use those out there. Now you see the rates over here on the left-hand side. These group rates are for TPEA members only. You must be a member of TPEA to receive these benefits, but you can get them for yourself. You can get them for yourself and your spouse, or for a family member or dependent. If your spouse or a dependent wants them, they would become just a member only if you still keep your benefits through the state that way as well. So, all right, so let's talk about those rewards, and I'll show you how they work in just a moment. We want you to use your benefits. Oral hygiene is so important and is an important component of your overall health. So we want you to go see the dentist. We don't want things to wait until there's a big claim that you've got to file, a big root canal or a crown or something like that. So if you will have at least one dental claim a year and keep it below $500, you can carry over an additional $250 of benefit value into the following year. The most you can carry forward is $1,000, so 4 years. So again, we want you to go have that routine cleaning. That's a claim, and keep that benefit under $500. So here's how it works. Say you have a routine cleaning or a cavity filled in 2022. $94 cost, just throwing out a dollar amount there. That keeps you under the $500 threshold, but it counts as a claim. So that's good. So you have a $1,250 benefit. Next year, you will add $250 to that you can carry into the next year, and then you can get $1,500 worth of coverage. The maximum, again, you can carry over is $1,000 in rewards. To give you an example, real life, I went and had a cleaning yesterday. They told me I need 2 crowns replaced. Well, they did the workup, which they always do, and say my benefits will pay this amount, and you will be responsible for X amount. Well, on this plan, I'll say I'm going to wait until next year and my rewards kick up. So more money goes towards the coverage and less money out of my pocket. So it allows, if you know you've got some oral surgery that you can delay or some replacement, something like that, to build up some more that you don't have money out of your pocket. Again, we want you to use that dental benefit. Okay. All right. Well, what if you've already got coverage through the state and you don't plan on dropping it? That's fine. That's great. We don't want you to drop that coverage. We're not advocating that you do that. We're just giving you the options, the ability that you have as a TPEA member to pick up benefits for your family, double dip benefits. You can double dip. All right. And this is a provision that when we first rolled this plan out, we didn't think much about it, but we had several state employees say, hey, the way I'm reading this, I can double dip. Yes, you can. What that means is you have your coverage through the state. You get your coverage here through Emeritus and AMBA via your relationship with TPEA. You can use those benefits side by side. Go in, have your crown done, the state benefits pay, then have the dentist file it with Emeritus for your TPEA benefits to cover any amount over the top of that. So again, it gives you the opportunity, if you know that you've got a major event that's going to cost some money out of pocket, cover it up from both sides and double dip and take advantage of the benefits that way. So I see we've got a couple of questions that have popped in here, and we've asked about first of all, about any information to be provided. Is there a handout? And Laura, I will show you how you can get information on it here at the end. I'll also direct you to some websites and things like that, and I will send that website link out that you can get direct information to everybody who's on the call here. Another one asked, Melissa, I think asked, is the 6922 with dependent or unlimited dependents? It's for all the dependents that you have. So if you've got 5 children, doesn't matter, you can put them all in there as well. Michelle asked about, can you use your flexible account to pay these premiums? That's a good question. I'm not sure because this is after tax. If you were signing up for this, let me get back to you on that because there are some certain things that you can use with your FSA to use for premiums for other plans. I'll double check on that and get back to you. So anybody who puts something into Q&A, if it's a specific question, the Zoom records who sends it and your email so I can follow up specifically with you. But that's a really good question because with your flexible spending account that you have through the state or a health savings account somewhere else, you have the flexibility to pay for certain things like premiums or expenses. And so I'll double check to make sure because I don't want to lead you astray in that regard. So great questions out there. And I'll get those all answered for you as well before we jump into anything else here in the dental side. Let me make sure there's any other questions out there. And Veronica, I'll show you where we can sign up here in just a moment and get that there. So if you've got any other questions about dental, feel free to drop it into Q&A and chat. And before we move on to dental, I will tell you this is probably the most popular benefit. Most people will join TPEA, one, because they want the legislative advocacy, two, because they want the dental benefits in retirement or as active employees or for some member of their family. But I'll show you exactly how you can get all of that information on dental very shortly. All right, let's talk about vision. Again, you have vision access, vision insurance through the state. You also have a similar vision plan through TPEA. It is through VSP, which is the largest provider of vision care across the country. And the thing I like about VSP is you've got a lot of options. You can choose from doctors that are in rural areas, metropolitan areas, Sam's Club, Walmarts, all across the country. It doesn't have to be just included in the state of Texas. They're all over. Your exams and your eyewear, all of your vision needs, a lot of those Walmarts, you can do the doctor there, go right next door. You can get all of your needs fulfilled that way. You have very low copays. Some have no copays. I'll show you a comparison here in just a moment on that. Kind of walk you through that. You get a coverage for an exam every 12 months. Prescription eyeglasses, I think frames are every 2 years. You get a small copay on your eyeglasses, and then you get a certain allowance on frames, things like that. And then sometimes you can use the discount to get on special frames if you want that as well. Your lenses do have a coverage change every 12 months. So if you do need to change lenses out of your frames, you can get those covered 100% on standard. And then you've got some savings on certain coverages, scratch resistance, UV coating, things like that. You have contact lens coverage, a certain amount every 12 months instead of eyeglasses, whichever you prefer that way. 20% savings on additional sunglasses, glasses, things like that. A biggie. This is a big thing. If you go through the VSP network, you also get a 15% savings on your LASIK surgery. We have several members who choose this plan just for the LASIK coverage. So it by far will more than pay for any of your TPEA membership dues at all, saving on that LASIK coverage. And we've had, I think, some state employees or TPEA employees take advantage of that as well. So we encourage you to look into that. So let's do a quick plan comparison. Again, I'm not trying to tell you one's better than the other. Again, you've got the same situation. If you have children who have aged out of your benefits, they can get vision benefit plan through TPEA. If you've got parents that never were eligible for your state benefits, you can do that as well. No sign-up time periods, anything like that, the same situation. You see the state of Texas vision plan over there. You've got $15 copay for routine eye exams, your frames. You've got an in-network and an out-of-network allowance period there. You've got different copays for different situations depending upon the lenses, the tinting, ultraviolet, and things like that, and allowances for contact lenses. With the VSP plan, again, you've got network and out-of-network choices. If you go out of network, you've got all of your different allowances that you have. But if you stay in network, your exam is covered 100% without any type of copay whatsoever. And then all of your other coverages are in there that you see covered in full with just one small copay for the materials. Contact lenses, there is no copay. You see what you get for your up to $150. If it's elective contacts, paid in full. If it's a medically necessary contact prescription out there, your frames, you get $150 on that. You get exams and lenses every 12 months, but the frames are available, that allowance to you every 24 months that's out there. So you see the difference between it. Again, This one doesn't really have any double dip provision out there. So I don't recommend, if you've got it through the state, that you also get it through TPEA. But again, it allows you, if you need it for, you missed the open enrollment period, you didn't take it over with you in retirement, whatever, you can get it through the situation as well. We showed that you've got the out of network benefits that you have up there, and you've got certain allowances up to a certain amount through VSP for out of network coverage. But most doctors or most optometrists and ophthalmologists will take VSP as well. Mine does, and had no problems at all, and take care of it that way. We've got the rates that are out there. And again, I'll show you how you can get access to that information that's out there. So let me go ahead and jump in real quickly. This is pretty brief, but let me go down and scroll down, see if there's any other questions that we can do there. All right. Back on the dental, Richard asked, is one primary and the other secondary in terms of dental insurance? Yes. If you have state coverage, that's primary. But again, the secondary coverage that you would pick up this way would drop in and come over the top of that and pick up any other costs within their plan that wouldn't be a challenge there. What you have to do, because it doesn't automatically file it for you, you just have to tell your dentist, hey, I have two plans. Here's my state plan. Here's my other plan. File on both that way as well. Is in-network, I got a question here about in-network only in the state of Texas. She's retired to Colorado. Janet, I envy you. I would love to be in Colorado, especially this time of year. It's phenomenal up there. These networks are not tied to anything. Both neither vision nor dental are tied to any state in particular. We write and work with Emeritus all across the country, with associations all across the country. These plans, the networks, are national networks. So it does not mean that you have to stay in the state of Texas there. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, Veronica, you asked a great question talking about a cap on the age of a young son or a daughter. Okay. When we're talking about it as a state employee, and all of you know that whenever that son or daughter turns 26, they have to come off of your plan and either not have coverage, enroll in some type of COBRA coverage, something like that, which can be quite expensive. With the TPEA plans, the same age restriction is there, but you can enroll your son or daughter into their own plan. It would be their own coverage. It wouldn't be as a dependent under your coverage.
John, another thing is that COBRA has a definite limit. I mean, you can only stay in it, I think, 18 months, and then
Exactly.
it expires.
Exactly. So you do have those time limits out there. So the age cap, so say if you've got children that are in college in their early 20s and you took out the plan through TPEA, it would cover them up until they reached age 26. And then at that point, they would have to get a separate plan on their own, which could be through TPEA and Emeritus or VSP for vision. And then they could have that with the same benefits as long as they want to in that regard. So great point. The COBRA, as you know, can be time limited, be more expensive. This allows you to have it that way. So we've got great questions that have come in here. Please feel free to drop those in here. Here's how you can find out more information about the plans as well. I'm going to do two things for those of you on the call today. Take the smartphone that you have in your hand, open up your camera feature on the smartphone and hover over that QR code. You hover over that QR code, a little form will pop up. You can select review my benefits. You can select dental vision, whatever you want to select. And that little form comes back to me. And someone will contact you from AMBA to tell you, here's exactly how you can sign up. The other thing I'm going to do for you, for all of you who are on the call today, I'm going to send you the link to the TPEA plan that you can actually look at all the rates, you can explore all the documents, and you can sign up right there on the plan, on the website. So it gives you great flexibility. Do it however you want to. You can look at it that way, either way. So use the QR code or email me if you want someone to call you, answer every question you have or walk you through it. Or I'm going to send the link out at the end of our conversation today to everyone on here with that particular specific link that will take you right to the page that says, here are the costs, here's the coverage, when can I start? It also has a phone number if you want to call and talk to someone on there, or you can simply enroll right there on the spot. And if you're not a TPEA member, you can become a TPEA member right there on the website. And that's what we want to do. It's so important, especially as the TPA staff, Ray and Ann Bishop, the executive director, are standing in front of these legislative committees, these budgeting committees, these pension committees with ERS. And they're saying, we've got 13, 14, 15, 20,000 state employees and retirees that need a cost of living adjustment, that need to make sure that our benefit contributions remain the same or improve. This is what the volume of voice can stand behind that. So please become a TPEA member. So if you're joining us and you don't have access to a smartphone because you're on your phone or on your tablet, you can email me at john.green@amba.info. I'll come back and show you this all here in just a moment. Just a couple of quick reminders. We have another free benefit for TPEA members. We're talking about taking care of yourself through your dental and your vision. The Passport program is free to all TPEA members. There are so many things related to Smile Direct Club discount contact lenses that you can take advantage of, not only your benefits through the state and then find a cheaper place to get your contacts. You can do the same thing through VSP. You can do the same thing through Emeritus that way, but you can also get other health and wellness things. If you live in the Austin area, there are so many new restaurants, so many new services being added all the time. I encourage you, use that QR code, ask about Review My Benefits, find out about the Passport program. This thing is free for TPA members. It can save you hundreds of dollars a year on travel, health issues, things like that as well, all throughout the year. Tell your coworkers about this, especially as we're going into election season and legislative session first of next year. Tell them about these webinars, these lunch and learn sessions. Let them know about TPEA, get them involved, and then it's a way for us to continue to grow the membership and you learn about it. So invite your friends to learn about this. So we've got a couple of sessions coming up. We're going to talk at the end of the month about long-term care. The state of Texas, ERS, used to offer long-term care. They used to think it was so important, but long-term care as a whole got to be too expensive. And so companies started cutting back. So we're going to kind of explore why the state stopped. We're going to talk about the endorsed options that you have through TPEA, what the current situation is, and how you can take care of yourself or your loved ones that way. And then if you turn on the TV every morning and you see Jimmy J.J. Walker and Joe Namath talking about Medicare and how to call now and get money back and all that, in November, we're going to talk about the basics of Medicare. We're going to talk about how it all works, what it covers, what it doesn't cover, what it means that Joe Namath is talking about, how Medicare works if you're on ERS care, what you've got to do when you turn 65, how all that kind of stuff works. So we want to encourage you to jump in, sign up for those on the TPEA website. Hannah does a phenomenal job sending out the emails to make sure that you've got your questions answered and get you signed up and reserve those type of things there. So I'm going to leave the QR code up here. That's the easiest way. My phone is blowing up. Several of you have responded on the QR code and my email's there. Let's see if we can take a few more questions out here. Okay, we've talked about signing up here. Someone asked on vision, since you can't double dip, can you use either vision plan if you have both? Yes, you can. Now, what you'll need to do is you'll need to decide vision care within network, out of network. If this applies to me, you know, we've got some people that will use one year for their frames and their exam and then go use the other one next year because it's got a 2-year provision in there, stuff like that. So great way to do that. I had a question here. Can you purchase just coverage for adult children without member coverage? Yes, you can. They would need to be a TPEA member. You can become an associate member of TPEA for just $2.50 a month, and you can have access to all the same membership benefits, but you don't have to be on that plan. They can just have it alone. For example, I've got a 27-year-old son. He's got vision coverage through his place of work, but if he didn't, I could, because of my TPEA membership, say, hey, Jeremy, become a member of TPEA, associate member, get your own vision benefits that way as well. Okay. All right. The question, I'm going to ask this question here, and Charlotte, I want you to unmute your phone if you're still with us, Charlotte. Okay. And Brandon, I'm thinking I'm asking this question correctly. Does the payment come out of paycheck like membership does? your membership dues can come from your pension. Is that correct now, Charlotte?
Yes.
Okay, so your membership dues can come from your pension. Any benefits that you purchase through TPEA or through AMBA, through our affiliates, those would be paid separately. Those are not payroll deducted. They're not pension dues deducted at all. So again, any of the benefits we talked about today, those could be paid for separately outside. They are not payroll deducted in there. Okay. So I think that he answered that correctly. Is that correct, Charlotte?
You did it perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, we've had a question about the webinars being recorded. We are recording this webinar. It will be out on the TPA website within the next week or so. The dental cards, just like ERS goes to an electronic dental card, there is no dental card anymore. Everybody's trying to save money, things like that. With the Emeritus plan, you've got the option. You can get dental cards. On the ERS plan, you don't get dental cards. It doesn't mean you don't have coverage. With Emeritus, you can get it, but there's also plan numbers, things like that you can get electronically. And that can walk you through that when you get your cards, when you get your initial enrollment package out there. So QR code is up. Got those questions answered out there. Let's see if there's any other questions that have popped in here. I had one question that Janet asked back at the very beginning about my grandfather. My grandfather's name was Johnny Green. He worked out of the Wichita Falls office and worked in Throckmorton for many, many years. And like I said, I love spending time with him during the summers, getting to go out and build roads. And one of the coolest things that we used to do when I was a kid, I thought this was neat, is they would get rattlesnakes from under the road bridges. And so I got to walk with a 3-man crew, and there would be a stick man, a gas man, and a bag man. And that gas man would pump gas down into holes, and the snakes would pour out. The stick man would grab them, throw them to the bag man. And so you can imagine, as a 6-year-old kid, seeing snakes all day long. You were pretty skittish anytime you saw a snake, but it was the greatest experience growing up. And I'm appreciative of my grandfather working for Texas Highway Department. And Ray, just like you always say, thank you, state employees, for what you do, and retirees for what you've done for our state. So many of you through these past several years, as we mentioned, floods, hurricanes, storms, ice storms, COVID, have really answered the call. We greatly appreciate what you do. So I'm going to leave this screen up here. Those of you who need to run, feel free to take the rest of the day. Enjoy that. Thank you very much. I'll hang around and answer some questions. Ray, thank you very much. Charlotte, thank you for always being with us. And we appreciate you again for what all you do.
Great benefit.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Bye.